And let me know when you see my screen.
Okay, it says it's recording now.
Okay. So essentially what we were focused on, in the past few
Screen is
months.
blank, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's
I'm going to present.
good.
So
Okay.
not started yet. So what I'll just start with a few slides and then I'll show you something we did for them. So essentially what the premise has been, where is our reporting strategy headed towards, right? I'm, from a role perspective, I am the analytics and AI guy, sort of, for the Callidus side of the house. So, I'm doing analytics more, a little bit of AI, but also reporting for commissions
Right.
in some senses, but commissions reporting truly belongs to Steve Sims and others, but I help out as we are moving forward. But irrespective of that, what's our strategy moving forward? That's what we presented to them from a reporting and analytics perspective, because the core product you are already aware of, so I'm not going to go into that. So this is our broad direction, right? I mean, these are the 4 avenues for getting information from commissions. You either go through as a user who can access information through the dashboard, mobile, or statements, and the reporting analytics part also comes in with that. So with regards to the dashboards, the idea is to just go on the go glance the reports and look at them in a quick fashion, but it's very topical information that's there for a pertinent reason or whatever. The dashboard doesn't allow too much depth into it, right? I mean, it's primarily the first level view for any users who need to get some information. Same for mobile. And then the 2 other categories are statements and analytics. Now, with regards to the statements, we have Crystal reports as our primary engine for providing that information, and on the analytics side we have the Thunderbridge Analytics today that provides information, and in the future we are moving to a new direction, which is Sales Cloud Analytics. And I'm not sure if you had any previous exposure to those the Sales Cloud Analytics particularly, but Thunderbridge Analytics, I'm pretty sure that you might have been already.
Yes, Thunderbridge Analytics I'm aware of. I'm still not aware of the statement and publication, what's going to happen, because I think in banking they need like statements printed out or statements that cannot be changed once paid.
So what our position to JPMC was that, hey, where you absolutely need it, use statements, because otherwise you'll be just bloating your system for no particular reason. From our perspective, compensation statement is one we definitely see as a statement requirement from almost every customer. But on the other end, the idea is to get information from the system, which should be provided by the analytics solution. And when typically people think of analytics, they dive down, dive into the next level, which is, oh, I'm not doing analytics, I'm not doing this. No, but the first level is always a report, right? I mean, start doing the analysis after you see your first chart or your first table or whatever. You don't interact with it immediately. So in cases where you need persistence or pixel perfect reporting, that's where the focus should be for Crystal. For all other scenarios, focus on analytics. So that has been the position with JPMC. Now they have there are Webby use heavy use in-house. So they have quite a few Webby reports, and overall I think the number of reports is about 150 or so. But when they went through the evaluation process, and Raju and others, they mentioned that without even going into the depths of it, we can say that we think that about 75% to 80% of those reports, or even higher, could probably be met by Thunderbridge Analytics. So that takes away a big chunk of it. So let's say 100 reports can be in that category.
Right.
They have the other issue with Thunderbridge Analytics, which has always been a pain point, which um, customers have complained about is the access to the ext schema for custom models, right? So
Mm-hmm.
whenever they have custom tables, Thunderbridge Analytics doesn't allow that. So, Webby was a quick way of getting into it, doing the modification to the universe, creating a custom universe, and accessing the data. Now, that being said, as we are moving forward, we are going through a series of changes in SAP. We are adopting to newer technologies. And so what we thought is, instead of offering that solution in Thunderbird Analytics, we'll offer it in our next generation of analytics, which is Sales Cloud Analytics. And I'll talk about it a little bit more
Okay.
as we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But the primary goal is, these are the two broad categories. Use these to the fullest to get answers to your business questions, and where required, store them as statements. But reduce the dependency on the statement part, because ultimately you need information, right? I mean, and I
Mm-hmm.
was telling JPMC that even in my bank, for example, I don't really care about any of those information pieces other than the 1099 at the end of the year, right? Because that's a
Mm-hmm.
statutory thing I have to submit for my
Yeah.
tax returns. The monthly statement you give me, fine, I look at it. But if I had that interactively available to me, I don't care, because in the scenarios, what they do is they typically show us the PDF documents from the last year or so. Anything before that, you can give a date range for like up to a 6 months, where they show you the information from that. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to find out from, let's say, my credit card or bank statement or bank transactions is, if I see an odd transaction or an odd number sometime, I might be curious, why did my report, amount go up so high? So I might go back and look, and those chances are very rare,
Mm-hmm.
right? How many times do I look at my pay stub, for example? You know,
Mm-hmm.
yes, when I joined SAP, I looked at the first statement to make sure that yes, everything is correct. My
Yes.
deductions went through, whatnot. But after that, maybe one more statement, but then it's in the back burner until my W-2 comes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the philosophy. And I said, use that culture, because what happens now is with Webby BO, it's a on-prem solution built 20 years back, or maybe even longer. And now we're moving to the cloud. And there are so many other elements that you need to consider: large volume of data, interactive usage, over the web connectivity, mobile, etc. And people typically are looking for information. They're not necessarily looking for a pixel perfect statement to look through 7 pages to find out what they're
Mm.
interested in. So that's how I would position it, and that's they kind of largely agreed with that philosophy. And then I said, okay, here's how our product looks today, where you have the Crystal report embedded in the portal of commissions, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have Thunderbridge Analytics, where you can build your dashboards based on the widgets which are coming here. And the benefits, of course, as I mentioned, it's self-serve, it's a cloud solution, and it's pre-integrated with our data set, so you don't have to do additional
Yep.
ETL and stuff. And then the real-time exploration starts beyond that.
Yep.
And then second half of this year, we are bringing in all the features of Thunderbridge Analytics into our next generation of analytics, which is called Sales Cloud Analytics. This is based and built on the HANA platform, with the SAP Analytics Cloud as our backbone. So all these are used as platforms, but we are developing a series of things on our side to make sure that connectivity happens easily.
Mm-hmm.
And also we are adopting IDP as we move forward. So I don't know if you're familiar with SAP Analytics Cloud or SAP IDP.
I'm
Um,
not. I'm not.
okay. So these are like the newer technologies that are coming up, and we are kind of, picking up on those as we move
Okay.
forward. And then I showed them a demo, which primarily was, these, and I'll show you them live as well, some screenshots of what we had.
Okay.
That this is what the product is capable of doing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is how you use it, this is what it does, and this is the next generation. Again, it's not Thunderbridge Analytics, but I think what we try to do is kind of, bridge the gap and Thunderbridge Analytics was a little bit exclusive club, if you remember. It
Yep.
was like, comp admin can go and do it, but
Yes.
I am trying to democratize that more. I was talking to, Giles and Terison and others, and I said, you know what? One of the problems with commissions is not really the fact that we don't have good reporting solution or analytics. The biggest problem in commissions is the application itself doesn't give much information, so people rely on reporting and analytics heavily, you
Yeah.
know and that makes all the issues come in this area, as opposed to if you open up the application for simple snippets of things, then it becomes better and it's more
It's well informed and reduces the workload in the behind the scene.
correct. Because today, all you can do is give the dashboard to the end user, which says something but not enough to make them happy you
Mm-hmm.
know but if I wanted to look at something, I have to come to this, and then all the eyes are set here. Oh, reporting analytics. Why not? Because here you have like thousands of users,
Yeah.
whereas the real people who need to be there are excluded from that, and they just
Yeah.
see like five or six things. So here's the roadmap direction where we have. So we are planning on Sales Cloud Analytics being available soon. So we are in a beta already. Actually, it's happening with some customers. I have a customer visit coming in next week.
Mm-hmm.
So and unfortunately, we have dependencies with other teams in SAP, and they are kind of not completely there yet. So based on what I'm hearing, our 1908 might get deferred to sometime in September or late September, because unless we get those, we can't really roll it out to en masse customers, right? We need the
Mm-hmm.
APIs, we need the IDP setup, we need all those connectors for commissions, etc., that need to be completed by then, and we have no say on that part.
Right.
If that happens, then this will be the direction that we'll be moving towards with Sales Cloud Analytics. So of course this has a safe harbor, but our original plan was 1908 we go out GA, and then we'll have the ability to also get access to ext schema, the custom tables.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanism here is slightly different than what you would do in a universe kind of scenario where it was a relational system. Here we have the metadata layer, which is needs to be built out on top of ext. So let me go to a different set of slides and I can talk about that there.
Yeah.
But let me just complete the roadmap. So the roadmap is pretty clear. We are categorizing them in different buckets, and for the different releases, this may or may not get delivered exactly as you're seeing here, but something will be there, in the coming days.
Yeah.
And the bigger takeaway from the slide for you is probably the fact that we are working towards adding, custom table analytics in this world as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let me actually show you.
So, the screenshot you showed me, I actually saw a live demo of it earlier with someone. I don't remember because there's been so much enablement trainings going on every other day,
Okay.
pre-sales.
Oh,
But
then you might have already seen it then. Okay.
but I don't have so I don't think pre-sales still has access to it, as in for showing it to the prospects.
Correct. Because
Right.
the what is happening on that front is we are building a golden demo, a golden
Yeah.
master,
Yeah.
and then that's still in progress. Once that happens, then you guys will get access to it.
That's fine. That's fine. So Raju actually wanted what you showed him to be
Mhm.
shown in that demo that I have on 18th.
Okay.
Apart from the plans and rules and everything that we're going to show, I don't
So
know what would the best way to do that,
mhm.
but I'm open to suggestion.
so I can you can run this recording there if you want. Uh, I don't know what you could do, but
So we are having an online demo. So I'm going to be online as well.
okay.
He doesn't want, because most of the people are going to be spread apart.
Right.
Um, this probably will be like the 10 minutes of the demo at the end, or at the start. I think it will be at the start when I'm going to show all the dashboards and everything, and
Right.
then Raju wants the analytics much more deeper want to be addressed right there, because this is more to the leadership and not to the, yeah. So it's a combination of people. So yeah, I mean, either I can go through the slides, or if you have someone or you are available for 10-15 minutes to come online on a particular date or time that's flexible, we can find out which one, if you are available online like today, and we can go through the 10-15 minutes of it live on the thing, then might work. Because uh, I generally don't ask for this because I know you are not client facing and it's not something that you want to spend your time. Is JPMC has escalated things, and we just want to make sure we entice them enough to continue.
Yeah, I mean, I have shown this to their executives already.
Okay. So,
So Raju and all of them have seen all of what you're seeing now. So let me go
yes.
through this, and then
Okay,
let's
that's fine.
talk about, so basically what we are saying with Sales Cloud Analytics is this is the background, and why we went there. I just mentioned the fact that
Mm-hmm.
we had the HANA adoption. We kind of went down this path, and also the fact that we were trying to make it available to all the users. It has live connectivity to the systems that we have, and we have minimized a lot of the data movement process behind the scenes also. So it has enhanced the whole update analytics process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with regards to what will happen, and the benefits are very clear. I think they already know about it. That in a cloud scenario, it's not easy to because they are moving from on-prem to the cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they have to be very sure of what they are trying to do and how they're trying to do the seamless access via SSO, etc., are important to them as well. So we will be working towards that whole process with the IDP integration with commissions, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, these are tables in the HANA layer, which we will position to them and show them in the Sales Cloud Analytics dashboards that we create. And in the flow, actually, what we mentioned is this is how we work, right? So this, as you see on the right-hand side, is kind of the series of steps that happen. So what happened with the Sales Cloud Analytics is we use SAP Analytics Cloud as a platform, and we adopted them. And along with that, we built a number of services on our side. So it was like a project, a joint project sort of with them, because they were developing something, we were developing something, and still continuing.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, what that does is we use their UI as a front end, but we don't use their back end processes for doing a lot of the other things that they do. That is maintained by us. For example, the security of the data, right? So we know our personas, we know who's who, and we kind of show them all of that through our models. So the data models are pre-built. You come in, you build them, and then you see what the experience would be. And then after that, you come in and you go through these different services. So the services are lying here, right, in this segment, which is the gateway service, integration service, and a host of others. Then we have a metadata store layer, which is called as a season file that has business-friendly names. G8 toggles that are enabled
Mm-hmm.
will be showing up here, etc., and also has the data access restrictions. And then finally, it goes back all the way to HANA, where the database views are, and then picks up and shows the users how to access the information.
Okay.
Now, from their perspective, or largely for many other customers who are using custom models, they need a way to design that. So our way out here is that in the EXT schema, if they have the table definitions, etc., they'll need some professional services engagement who will come in and create all of this, and then finally go through this whole process of saying, okay, now you see this, and then let's kind of build that season file, which we will give some guidelines on what's the process, how to build it, and where to store it. And then they will have APIs to post it back to us, which we'll pick up and then combine with our season or metadata store, and then finally show end users their reports or the data models that they can start building their reports on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the story that we have. And I think, let me see if there was, yeah, this is the thing that I wanted to show is this. In this scenario, this is a sample that they gave us, right? This is something that they built in Crystal, in Webby,
Yep.
and they said, this is what they have, and this is what their starting point was.
Okay.
So now let me quickly switch over to my demo, and I will see if I can show you. So do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So if you look at this, it's a bunch of visualizations. And what I told them is like, when you start looking at analytics, you have to start thinking of information, how it can be consumed by the user better, because the traditional approach has been, oh, I have a big sheet of paper where I have a number of different lines with numbers, but the human brain doesn't really comprehend all of this. And I told them that, if I told you that what I'm showing you here is exactly what you have in that spread in the report, you would probably have a hard time believing that. But trust me, that's what I did. And so I then started breaking it down. I said, okay, look at this perspective. Now I have put in some banding and some other information which kind of mimics what you had, but it's the same data. And then here it's the other part. Let me actually reduce it a little bit so that the whole thing comes in.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so this is where you have a similar kind of information for this. And then I started saying, okay, now let me get into a banding mechanism. So that's what you had in your spreadsheet. So this is my banding. And now if you look at it very carefully, all you had, your segments were kind of the same thing, except here I have visualizations of charts. And here on the left-hand side, what you have is essentially, these numbers, right?
Yeah.
And so the human brain, when you're looking at it, quickly comprehends that. And I think the newer technologies suit better here, right? Because now you're looking at an iPad or something on the go. This kind of information can be better consumed there, and you can retain much of it. And also, do I really need this information for storing forever? Probably not. I'm looking for information, what happened in February or March. And as long as I have the numbers and I get the context, I might be fine with it.
So Super, one question. So this is going to be for the end users, right? And this is lovely. So there's all this, what you're showing me is not for the admin. It's an end user interface where they can see this data.
Correct.
And drafts. That's good. I'm still thinking from the demo or the next meeting point of view as well, is if you cannot be part of it, or if it's not required, it'll be great to have screenshots of this with Chase and what you just showed me from a different perspective, and taking you through that talk track, and that might do for this demo.
Okay.
That's what Raju, at least I also told Raju, like, look, I might not be able to show you the live thing that you were shown by the product guys, because that's not what we have, but I can show screenshots, and he said that is fine.
Okay. So sure, I can send you those screenshots, and then you can look at it,
in that chronology, and I'll do that. Yeah.
But you get my story, right?
I get the story. I definitely get the story,
because
and it's an important one.
Yeah, because I think what happens typically is like, this has been the traditional approach of reporting, right? And people look at it this way, and they always think, oh, this is fine. But, was this really something that I could have attained in some other way, is not the thought that is given. And so from that perspective, once they have this, they can quickly start building these. And the screenshots that I have in my other deck, I'll include these as well, so that, you can kind of have a combined.
And just to understand, this is coming in the roadmap, as you showed, is some of it will come soon, some of it will be later.
So what will come soon is, out of the box data models that we provide will be available as soon as we go GA, right? So we have about 8 or 9 products that The
So for commission, probably would be coming sooner than the rest.
correct, correct.
Correct. I think
So
that's what they're concerned more about right now for this
yeah,
particular one.
and then I think what they also need, which will be coming subsequently, is they'll need access to their custom models, right? That is not something that we built out of the box. So professional services is actually working with them. So I don't know if you know about Jamie Bridges.
No,
Uh,
I don't.
so Jamie Bridges is actually working with Raju and team to kind of hone down the 150 reports or whatever, what makes sense, get an estimation of the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and then the goal is that once they have their system available in HANA and everything, we will connect them with uh, an SSE tenant, so they can build their Sales Cloud Analytics reports directly over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Okay.
that's something that's happening on a parallel track where they are actually going to be getting that information access from the EXT schema to build their custom models. But as I said, it requires a little bit of prerequisite.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I was mentioning earlier, if you remember, in the scenario where we have these models,
Yeah.
there is custom models that we have which they will need. So in this case, for them, professional services will have to work, because we have looked at some of their tables and some of the information, but of course, ultimately it has to be finalized what reports they want, which models need to be actually surfaced, and then create the season metadata along with that, so
Mm.
that we can consume them. So from our perspective, from the engineering product perspective, we will consume that and give them the ability to create the reports, but provided they have created the season, and that will be a negotiation between services and JPMC, saying what reports do I want, which tables do I need access, etc., etc. Right?
Mm.
So
Okay.
that's the basic premise. But I think what will happen eventually is, as they start engaging in this path, they will start working towards this process, moving and transitioning here, and then they can actually talk about how to build. I mean, for the details of how their reports and processes will work around, I think Raju may already be privy to some of that. He may be engaging in discussions with Jamie and others.
Mm-hmm.
And also, on the other end, Jamie will be talking to us for the product touch points for
Right.
the custom models.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Thank you. So what I'll do is, once you send me the resources, I'll go through it and go through the recording. If I have
Sure.
any follow-up, I can email you and ask, just for the clarity from the time frame, timelines, or anything that I need to not tell JPMC. But I think that's for in the whole demo. This will be my 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
And you can always say that there's a safe harbor which applies, because
yeah,
of course nothing is in anyone's hand, but we are doing our best to make
yeah.
sure that we have the beta
Yeah.
sometime in the next few months.
I'm already showing them the plan optimizer and the Thunderbridge analytics in the live environment.
Okay.
So that is at least there. So this will be then the next level, a third level, which is what I'm gonna
Right.
then.
Right.
So that would work. No, thank you again. And so